I'm very proud of this beautiful place, what it's become, especially over the last 6 to 7 years, with the transformation that Dr. Nash and Dr. Cornell have done. It's transformed this city. It's a national gem, this museum now. And this, I think this is the best show that they've ever done, the Backyard Oasis. It's gotten international recognition, over 100 magazine and newspaper covers throughout the world, and very proud of the show.
When I was putting the show together, one of the people whose works I ran across was Michael Childers, because he has a substantial number of works here in our collection, and in fact the museum has done exhibitions of his work in the past. And so as I was going through, I first saw these images that he took of David Hockney at Hockney's own residence and his pool, and they're images that are really interesting because they simultaneously document Hockney's process of montaging his Polaroids, which was a major moment in the history of photography. But they're also wonderful portraits that are both psychological and capture a kind of emotional sensibility. When you see David working in the backyard with his friends who are, the subjects of his own photography. And so Michael's work really shows the way in which often an artist engages with a community of people, and those people are not only the subjects of that person's work, but they also are the inspiration and friends and the community that work grows out of.
This photo here is David Hockney at Rising Glen in the mid-70s, and this is actually at my house and the house of my partner, John Schlesinger. Our house was called Rising Glen on top of the Hollywood Hills. David arrived that day with a brand new white silk and linen Yves Saint Laurent suit. He was in a great mood, which helped me coerce him into getting this $12,000 suit into a swimming pool and getting it wet. But I showed him a very famous photograph that Lartigue had done in 1903 with his cousin Zezou, floating in a pool with a dandy suit and an ascot. And David said, "I like that. I like that. That's very much. Okay, I'll get in the pool for a bit." Peter Fetterman, the great gallery owner and photo historian, has said that this is the most iconic photograph of David Hockney ever taken. So I'm very proud of this. It's been in many books, many magazines all over the world, and continues to be a delight when I see it.
Most of the artists who are alive I contacted and talked to before we did the show, and then talking to Michael, it's one of those things that happens when you talk to an artist. You are introduced to things that you had no idea existed that are just phenomenal, and you're so thrilled to run across them. And with Michael, it happened to be this image called the Hockney Swimmer, because we were talking about Hockney, and then I was at his house and I saw this image, and I immediately knew that image had to be in the show. And it also, as far as I was concerned, was the signature image for the show. It just summarized all of the themes of the show so perfectly, and on top of it is just a brilliantly organized and executed photograph.
When Dr. Cornell notified me that the committee at the Getty had chosen this as the cover, the signature image, it's for a photographer. It's like winning the Oscar. I was thrilled, very excited. It was taken at David Hockney's pool in the Hollywood Hills on Montcalm in 1978. And several of the images you'll see here were done that very day at David's house, where he was assembling the great famous Polaroid montages in a Cubist manner. It was a very exciting day to watch the process of this great artist assembling these extraordinary Picasso-ish Cubist images with SX70s. Every photographer I ever saw these said, "It's simple, why didn't I think of that?" Yeah, but he's a genius. So his mind works like a computer. He laid out, he knew the planes, he knew where everything would fit. He knew how to assemble all these into these great, memorable Cubist images. My assistant then, who used to come and help me on photo sessions, was a young photographer, aspiring, called Ritts. And we would photograph a lot of great swimmers and pretty boys up by the pool. And he even held the reflectors several times when I photographed David Hockney. This is Richard Gere, who rented the house for several months in Los Angeles. And I believe he was doing American Gigolo, the film. And this is his girlfriend, Sylvia Martins, who's a wonderful Brazilian artist. This photograph, taken by my friend, the brilliant photographer, Ritts. It's a stunning image of what California and Hollywood life is all about.
Luckily, because of the Getty grant and the generosity of the Getty, we were able to produce a really luxurious catalog with some very serious scholarly essays, but also with every image in the show with a full plate illustration, so that the show really will live on historically and critically within this amazingly beautiful and important catalog. So it will have a history that extends beyond its run here at the museum.
This is such a good book. I've given away 40 of these. So good.